Welcome. I already spilled my coffee once and I'm losing light because it's like 5 o'clock, but we're gonna do this because I really want to do it. And I just need to record something. So here we are. Welcome to episode 1. Oh gosh, there's coffee splatters everywhere. I need to calm down. Welcome to episode 1 of whatever the heck this is gonna be. I have no idea yet. Actually, that's a lie. I have somewhat of an idea. I want this to just be another place to share my crafts and things. It's going to be less of business updates, which is a little bit more what I do on Instagram, and more just wanting another avenue to share my other creative things and maybe just go into more detail about other stuff. I don't know. We'll see where we go with this. But here I am. Here we are. We're going to do something. Anyways, I'm Erin. I'm the dyer behind Coast to Coast Yarn Co. That's what I do full time. I'm an indie dyer. On the side, I'm a knitter, and I occasionally dabble in other crafts like sewing and spinning, but mostly knitting projects is probably what I'll share here. I do read a lot. I listen to a lot of audiobooks while I work, and mostly knit in my free time, but do read a little bit of other like physical books. So I figured I'd share some of that. We'll see. Yeah. I guess we'll just jump right into it. So I was gonna start with finished objects because I finally finished something. I haven't actually finished anything in quite a while, so I just cast this sweater off last night. Bound it off, I finished the sweater last night, and it's dry by just pure force of will because I wanted to wear it and I wanted to record today. So here we are. This is my Gr8 Gingham Raglan. Get you a close-up shot on the colors because they're so good. So this knit up so fast for an all-over colorwork sweater. I was impressed. Like, I really like colorwork, so I feel like I knit it relatively fast, but this went really quickly, and I think it might be partially because you do the sleeves first. So sleeves, and it's a cropped body, so sleeves were done. I just barely had to knit any body. Actually, her pattern calls for about 2 repeats less. Yeah, I added 2 more repeats on the body than she calls for on the cropped version of the sweater, which I have a really long torso, so this is still pretty cropped for me. And I'm pretty sure this might be how she instructed you to do the full body one. But I do have a very long torso, so this came out perfectly. And the fit is so good. Yeah, I'm so happy with how this came out. So the yarn, the blue, the main color is Ritual Dye Sprite. The colorway is Forget Me Not. And the yellow, the contrast color, Spin Cycle, Dyed in the Wool, Salty Dog. Yeah, just these colors. You say blue and yellow, and I don't think like that's an uncommon color combination. That seems very common and normal, but I realize I just like don't use this color combo that often, and I love it. Yeah. So I did a trunk show. Whew, I'm out of breath. I need to calm down. So in February, I did a trunk show at Naughty Lamb in Forest Grove in Oregon for the Rose City Yarn Crawl, and I went into that knowing I would get to go to some of the other shops and wanted a plan of what yarn to look for. So this pattern had just came out at that point, and that's what I went in looking for yarn for. So I went to Ritual Dyes for the first time, which was really fun. It's a beautiful store, and I got the blue, and I was looking for a contrast color there too, but I didn't see one that really caught my eye for this pattern. But I knew I still had to go to Starlight Knitting. Yeah, that was my plan. I was gonna go to Starlight Knitting, and they always have a lot of Spin Cycle every time I've gone, at least, which is like 3 times over the past 5 years. But they always have a lot of good Spin Cycle, and so I bought the Forget Me Not colorway and just crossed my fingers that I would be able to find something good. There are squirrels on my roof just very distracting. Yeah, so I went to Starlight and I found this Salty Dog colorway, which I hadn't seen before, but apparently it's one of their normal ones. And knew like this combination just was so perfect. And I know because it's gotten a really good response on Instagram from a lot of people very excited about it too. So yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love the fit, everything about this. It went really fast. I'm just so pleased. And it's not even like, we actually got an overcast day here today, so it's not even absurd for me to be wearing this right now. Like any other day recently, we've been having like 90-degree weather. I would have just been sweating, but it's just meant to be. It's meant to be that I got to wear this today because it's so nice. All right, that's the only finished object I have. I haven't finished anything else in quite a while. I just cast on a bunch of things. That's all I've done recently. So yeah, this is my first FO, first and only. Okay. Next, I'm gonna go into acquisitions, which I also only have one of. But, okay, this just came in the mail today. One of my favorite things about being an indie dyer and having indie dyer friends whose work I just admire so much is swapping yarn with them. I did that a couple times for some countdown boxes in the winter, and that's been so much fun. And so Marissa at Rocky Mountain Yarn Co., she did a Lord of the Rings collection a little bit before I did my Mush Club collection, and we swapped orders from those. And so this yarn just came today. It's so good. Okay, so this is Gimli. Look at how fucking rich this brown is. I'm sorry if you don't like swearing, but that's how this is gonna be, so. Look at this. Yeah. This is, I'm speechless with how beautiful this color is. I knew it would be good, but just seeing it in person is so stunning. So I got 4 skeins of this. This is her Banff DK, which, yeah, it's a merino and nylon blend. I'm gonna use this along with mohair. So this is Urukai. It has a lot of colors in here. Yeah, so stunning. She just crushed it. I'm gonna hold these together. My plan is to make a woodwardia. We'll see if I stick to that plan. But that's what I got this with the intention of making. I just love it so much. I'm so, yeah, this is perfect time. Like, I had to record this today because I finished my sweater. I got yarn. I don't get that much yarn mail. I have quite a few sweater quantities that I'm really gonna try and knit my way through. So I've been trying to not buy as much yarn lately, especially on a whim. I've been trying to be really intentional with my purchases of buying sweater quantities or project quantities for specific projects that I have in mind. Because I also want to knit with my own yarn that I dye too. So if I just have too much of a pile of my own personal stash that I've got from other people, then I just kind of feel bad whenever I dye new yarn for myself to make new projects, which literally I just did. And it skipped ahead of the other things that I have planned. Maybe we do like a whole episode of all of my plans, and then we can guess how long it will take, how many decades it will take to finish all of those. It's really not that bad. I say. All right, that's the only acquisition that I've got lately, but it's just so good. Okay, moving on to whips. We can look at, ooh, got some fuzzies in my eye. I only have a few. I brought my active whips up to show you, so I think I have 4. Plus, like, I can show you my sewing whip if you're interested. Actually, I'm just gonna show it to you either way, and you will live. All right, but I'll start with actual knitting whips. So, here we go. First up, this is the Floating Magnolias sweater tee. The pattern is by Tina Say. Sorry, my chair is so squeaky. Look at this. Yeah. Maybe that's what this podcast should be called. Just look at this. That seems about right to what I will probably be doing this entire time. Anyways, this is my current whip. Oh, there's like cat hair in my eye. Ugh. Okay. Back to this. So this is it's a tee, is what the pattern is designed for, but I think that I might be doing 3/4 length sleeves because I saw one project on Instagram that I loved so much, and they did 3/4 length sleeves and it looked really good. So I don't know, we'll see, but I am constantly telling myself that I need to knit more tees and more summer things because I am less of a pullover person and much more of a layered like tee with a cardigan person, just because I get hot. I don't know. But so yeah, of course I will then pick a tee pattern and then decide to make it longer sleeves. I don't know, we'll see. It's still fingering weight, so it's still pretty light, but that would make it not as much of a summer wear. We'll see what I end up doing. Maybe I will like it with short sleeves, but I really like the long sleeves. Vote below. I don't know, is that how you YouTube? Anyways, okay, so more about this pattern. This is like a cabled slip stitch pattern. It's a 2-color, obviously. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, but it makes these magnolia petal patterns, and these slip stitches will continue the rest of the way down the body. So the yarn that I'm using is a new base that I got to test out. It's a non-superwash ultra fine merino, so it is so soft. This is in the skeins, you can see, yeah, obviously can't feel it, but you could just see the soft essence of it. It is some of the softest yarn that I had worked with. These are 2 of my Mush Club colorways that I'm knitting it in. So this is Verdant and Button. And I just love them so much together. Yeah, this yarn is amazing, and I'm really excited to bring it to the shop. I found it after I had already done the entire pre-order for Mush Club, so that's gonna keep me busy until August, but hopefully after that I will be able to bring this into the shop on some more colorways. I'm excited to test it out on some more of the variegated ones, and maybe dye some colorways. Can you see it? Yeah, dye some colorways that are a little bit more intended for this base. So yeah, I'm very excited about this. I think now that my Gingham Raglan is done, this will now move into my #1 priority position. It's been really fun to knit on, but it definitely takes, I have to actually follow the pattern at least until I split for sleeves, and then I think I'll be able to not be tied to the pattern. But yeah, I'm loving knitting on this one. Got my Hello Lavender Design stitch marker on here. This is from our collab with Mush Club, so this is the Polypore stitch marker. She did such a good job with these. They're beautiful. Yes, that is whip #1. We'll move on to whip #2. Please hold. All right. Do I have? Oh, I don't know what I did with the labels. Shoot. So, oh, there it is. All right. This is my Avena sweater This is my current like mindless project. I did some weird tension thing here. Ooh, hope it's fine. So this is the Avena sweater by Jen Steingass. You can see the color work on here. The pattern is written for fading two colors together for the contrast color, but I just went with one solid green. This is yarn that I also got at the Rose City Yarn Crawl. I got the main color at Weird Sisters up in St. John and the contrast color at Naughty Lamb while I was doing my trunk show and also browsing constantly. So this main color is actually a tweed. It looks just like a nice cream from far away, but if you look close, you can see the little, it's got like blue and yellow nips. So it just adds like fun interest to the body, so it's not just a plain cream, which I got nothing against plain cream. I also love that. But yeah, so you can see, got my Sassafras Knits stitch marker on there. Yeah, you can see just the tweed. You can see the tweed. That's all I got. So yeah, this yarn is Lucky Tweed by Kelborn Woolens. The contrast color, I don't have the skein here because it's in the sweater, but it is, oh yeah. Oh, this colorway is just cream. That's easy enough. This is Cumbria. The contrast color is, it is wool, it's merino and mohair. And, oh, I don't know how to say that. The colorway is Helvellyn. I don't know if you can read that, but there you go. Oh, it's backwards, whatever. You get the idea. Yeah, it's just like a delightful pea soup green. So fun. Yeah, so I'm just slowly trucking away on this body now. We'll see when I finish that. It's gonna be pretty heavy, so I'm not in any rush to finish it because Kansas summers are pretty fucking hot. So I won't be able to wear it for a while anyways. Okay. So that's number 2. Number 3. Okay, number 3. But we're gonna take a little intermission and appreciate this little bag that I made. This is the first sewing project that I ever did with a zipper. So it is not great and snags on things, so I have to be very careful when removing projects from it, but I'm also so proud of it because it's this adorable mushroom fabric and I barely know what I'm doing with a sewing machine. So I'll take what I get. I have since this one made a better zipper, if you were curious. Okay, so this project is made with my New Year's countdown from 2021, so this past winter. It is the Solstice Engrain shawl by Sarah Opie. She's S-Knits on Instagram. So she had I believe it's like a 3 skein fade for her original Engrain shawl pattern, and then she also published a fade for 20 minis that she did a knit along with Allie of Explorer Knits opening her Solstice countdown. It's absolutely gorgeous, but the pattern just looked right up my alley for just a really simple garter stitch fade. When I was trying to decide what I wanted to do with my countdown minis, because I saved a set for myself, I wanted to make something to remember the whole project with, I wasn't convinced that I wanted to rearrange them. I was really kind of set on doing them in order. I had knit the Brioche Adventure shawl with Woolberries Advent as I opened it, and my friend Chrissy knit my countdown into that pattern, and I really loved how that came out, so I was tempted to just re-knit that pattern, but I decided to switch it up and go for a different one. But this one only called for 20 minis rather than the 25 that I had in my countdown, so I ended up ditching 5 of the colors. I took out more of the pinks, I think, so it's ending up more of like the blue, green, brown, yellow color palette, which I'm really happy with it so far. I hope I don't regret ditching a couple of the colors, but that's the choice that I made, and that's what I'm gonna live with. But here it is so far. Let me see the front. So I started out with some pretty lighter colors. you can see this fade go from like the purples to the blues into more greens. And this last color feels like kind of a shock to the system. So we'll see. I hope that once I have some more darker colors in here that it will be less shocking. But I think it'll work out well. It's faded well so far, and I'm really excited to see them all together in the whole project. So yeah, this is my cashmere sock base as well. Let me get you some speckly detail shots. I love this purple. Yeah, some of these have faded really well. I think it's just because some of the other ones have faded so well that this one is so jarring. But I've got a nice deep blue going in next, and I think that'll help balance it a little bit more with the dark and light colors. All right. That's 3. Yeah, that's 3, right? Yeah. Okay, 4th. Here we are. 4th whip. 4th and final. Nope, 4th whip. So this is just the collar of the Gib sweater, Gib Raglan. It's a Raglan sweater by Andrea Mowy. She just came out pretty recently, so here's just the collar so far, just a little 2x2 rib. I'm curious because the short rows are actually on the on the collar, so it'll be thicker on the back. I'm really curious. It looks really good on her version, but I might have made the main part of this too big. I don't know, we'll see. But this is for my husband. I believe that I have convinced him to come to Rhinebeck with me this year. So I may have decided that if he's coming to Rhinebeck, then he needs a sweater. I tried to knit him a sweater once, maybe like 2-3 years ago, and it was an all-over colorwork sweater. I have never gauge swatched in my life, and like most things come out fine. For example, I didn't gauge swatch on this sweater, and I think it fits perfectly, which is luck. It doesn't always turn out that well, but I tend to err on the larger side. I like a lot of my sweaters kind of baggy, so this one this was luck, but a lot of my other ones I just kind of make a little bit bigger, and then I have baggy sweaters, and that's totally fine with me. But for him, I feel like he is not going to wear it unless it actually fits, for one. 2, the last time I tried to knit him a sweater, it ended up fitting me, and fitting me rather tightly. He could get it on, but it was just comically tight. Like, he wouldn't wear it into public, obviously. So I learned my lesson there, and I made my first ever gauge swatch. Wow. Actually, so you can see this is the texture of what the sweater will look like. This is all over the body of it. It's just this like pearl, knit pearl texture. Love it. Yeah, super cool. So we'll see if I actually make a sweater that fits, and if I do, then maybe I will consider gauge swatching in the future, because this is pretty cute, and it actually was very fast. Though, I don't know, I might have also only been convinced because I had extra yarn on the same base from another sweater that I made. So this is my Cortinarius colorway, also from my Mesh Club pre-order, but I knit my coloring book raglan in this colorway. So I had extra, it's on my natural worsted base, and that's what I'm using, but I was dyeing up yarn especially for this pattern. So this is what I'm gonna be using for Landon's sweater. It's Crater Lake. This is on my natural worsted base. I guess you already saw it on the collar, but I think this is gonna be great. Ooh, yeah. So hopefully it fits. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I think it's gonna look so good on him. So that sweater is a Raglan sweater with, it has these like cable, the Raglan detail is a cable, and it's the pearl texture all over the body. I need to get started now because if I want to knit myself a Rhinebeck sweater, I don't know. He needs to have one handmade sweater if he's going to come to Rhinebeck. That's not the rules, but that's the rules for my, if I'm going to bring my partner to Rhinebeck, I want him to be wearing handmaids. I have other handmade sweaters that I can wear, but I need to make something for him, and then I will see if I have enough time to knit myself something special, but I also have like 3 other sweaters in progress, so maybe I'll just name something my Rhinebeck sweater, and it'll be great. Yeah, we'll see. What else was I gonna talk about? Yeah, this was just, I was writing notes of what, like, in theory I would make my agenda. I feel like this is a weird point to put shop news into, and I should probably do it at the beginning in the future, but here we are, most of the way through. I also don't have any shop news, but in theory this is where I would put shop news. I am just over 50% of the way through dyeing all of Mush Club, which puts me ahead of schedule, which feels amazing. So I did a giant pre-order for my Mush Club colorways, and I added tonals to that and did that back in March. Yeah, it's been, I think, about 10 weeks since, but I'm past the 50% point, past the halfway point of dyeing on all of that, which feels really good. I feel like I'm trucking along, still have a lot of momentum, and still just churning out yarn and being able to ship out a bunch, which feels really good, to actually get the yarn into people's hands. So yeah, I've just been working on that, basically. Gonna be working on that for another 10 weeks at least. My goal right now is to be done before August, which cuts off, I think, 4 to 6 weeks off of what my estimate is. So basically what I've been trying to do is just slowly chip away at the time. Like, you know, when you're driving a long drive and you have your Google Maps on and it tells you the estimated time, and you're just constantly like battling it to see if you can beat the estimated time. Like, you just chip away minutes at a time by speeding. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to see how much I can just like chip away at my estimated time. Going well so far. Other than that, what else? Oh, I sent out a custom colorway for a collaboration at the end of the summer. She hasn't shared about that yet, really, so I will wait to share the colorway, but I'm really excited about it. It's a new base and a new color that's very just neutral and beautiful. Yeah, I can't wait to share more about that, hopefully soon. And then looking forward to post Mush Club, so like August and fall. I'm just kind of planning to give myself some leeway and do some in-stock updates of just dyeing whatever I feel like it for a while. Maybe like a small in-stock collection, or just do some new colorways. I don't know. We'll see what I want to do when we actually get there, because that's 2 months away. But yeah, I'm not sure if I will bring back some other colorways, like maybe some countdown colorways that I didn't really give people a chance to buy in full skeins yet. I might do some of that. Might do like, I just have these ideas, like do a neutrals only update, or just dye a bunch on specific bases. I'm not sure. For in-stock updates, do you prefer doing like a bunch of colorways on one base, or a few colorways on a lot of bases? I'll have to give that some thought of what I want to do. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll just follow my heart. And then after that, yeah, I want to do some in-stock updates, and then maybe after that I'll consider doing like some sort of in-stock winter special thing. Like, I'm not gonna do another countdown this year. I can't think about committing myself to another giant project while I'm only halfway through this current giant pre-order. So yeah, I think the best way for me to approach this winter is I'm considering doing like an in-stock, maybe special sock set, mystery sock set, or like 4 skeins set, something like that. We'll see. I have time to figure it out and decide what I want to do with that, but it just leaves a lot of creativity open, and I'm excited. I don't want to pick too soon and then be tired of the idea before I even get to do it. So yeah, we'll see where I end up going with that, but I'm hoping to do another bigger collection and actually get to develop some new colorways and develop a whole collection, which I haven't done in so long, because even Mush Club was just bringing back the colorways from last year's club colorways. So the colors that I developed for that were just the tonals that went along with it. So I haven't really been able to do that much actual color creation in a long time, and I'm really excited to just do an entire collection from scratch. Yeah, so that will probably be later this fall. Got a couple other things that I'm committed to for the fall too, so we'll see where I end up. But yeah, I'm excited for just getting to make some new colors soon. I think being past the halfway dyed point for Mush Club, oh, there's a little bird, just is making me more excited about what I get to do after I'm done with it. Yeah, so we'll see where I end up from there. Yeah, that's shop news. So after shop news, oh yeah, this was a weird place to put in shop news, because next up on my list is upcoming projects. Would have made sense to go after whips and before shop news, but whatever. Here we are. It's episode 1. We're just trying to get through this. Order doesn't matter. We'll figure out the order some other day when I'm less chaotic. Anyways, so I have a lot of whips and I don't really need to start anything new, but the one thing I'm planning to start, my Rocky Mountain Yarn Co. yarn is gonna have to wait for a little bit. I'm not ready to start another sweater yet. I need to finish one more sweater before I start a new sweater. But Andrea Mowy does her, I think this is her 5th yearly like Memorial Day weekend. Is it Memorial Day? Yeah, the May holiday. Her like spring knitting knit-along challenge, weekend challenge. I don't know how to describe this. It's like the long weekend in May. She has a new pattern normally that she'll do a knit-along for to see if you can do the whole thing in a weekend. So she came out with her Stria hat. So it's the coordinating hat to go with the cardigan that she already came out with. That's like a half fisherman's rib beanie. And she's doing that for this year's weekend challenge, which I've never knit the half fisherman's rib. We'll see if I can do it. I can follow instructions. I don't know if I can do it in a weekend, but here is the yarn that I'm planning to use. I've had this sitting as my like yarn decoration. I have like a banana stand that you can hang bananas off of, but I just have yarn hanging off of it. So I've had this yarn as like my craft room decor for maybe a couple years. 2 years probably. It's in our old house. But this is just this gorgeous, I just don't knit socks that much, so I haven't gotten around to using it yet. But yeah, it's this non-superwash merino by Bone and Birch. It's called Degas Ballet Rehearsal. It is naturally dyed, yeah, naturally dyed with madder and logwood. So we've got this light pink mini. This is just the plumpest yarn too. It's just cream, the main color. I think this will make a really nice low contrast stria because so the pattern is a half fisherman's rib, but it has tiny, like, I think like 1 row stripes. Yeah, that go across with the light color. I think this would be beautiful. Yeah, and I'm excited to finally have a purpose for this. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I really like the simple colors of these versus something more busy. Like I have a lot of fun single indie dyed skeins in my stash, but this feels perfect for this. Very excited. It's beautiful. Got this cute little teacup stitch marker on there too. So yeah, Bone and Birch, naturally dyed, non-superwash. Don't focus on this, not me. I think it's gonna be beautiful. All right. Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about books. So I've listened to a couple really good books recently while I've been dyeing. So first off was Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. That one was really good. I didn't really know what I was getting into with it, but it was loosely Rumpelstiltskin retelling, I think is the right word for it. Fantasy, lots of strong female characters, and yeah, I don't really know what else to tell you about it, but I really liked it a lot. Okay, other than that, so I listened to People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I read Beach Read a few months ago, and I love that book so much more than I thought that I would. It was really good. I was expecting more of just a cheesy rom-com, which I love, but it was a lot more in-depth than that. I don't know, I thought it was so good. So I listened to People We Meet on Vacation. That one was also really good. I think I still like Beach Read a little bit better. People We Meet on Vacation was a little bit more just rom-com versus Beach Read, which is a little bit more like tugs at your heartstrings. Both of them are really good. So I did really like that one. And then at local bookstore day, I picked up a copy of Book Lovers, which I have yet to start, but I will probably start very soon. Because turns out I love everything that Emily Henry writes. So I'm really excited to read this. Other than that, so another book that I listened to and then bought the physical copy of something else by them was, what is this? No One Is Talking About This by Patricia Lockwood. So I listened to that one. It was a pretty quick listen, and I had literally no idea what I was getting into listening to it. I had no idea what it was about. It was really good, but also really weird, and I don't know that you would appreciate it if you're not like a chronically online person. So if you're not gonna get a lot of jokes or memes about being just always online, you might not appreciate it. I thought it was excellent, very weird, but kind of right up my humor alley. So I found that she had also written this book, Priest Daddy. So I bought this one, and we'll see. I'm just really kind of hoping that it's written in the same style, and I'm excited to read it. Apparently it's a memoir. I also know hardly anything about what it is, other than that I really liked listening to her other book, and so I am just hoping that this is a similar writing style that I will also enjoy. Other than that, I am in the middle of reading the ebook bundle of Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, which I really love her other books. I loved Crescent City, and I like ACOTAR a lot. Crescent City is probably my number one, but Throne of Glass is good so far. I'm on book 5. Ooh, yeah. So I read the first 3, and then I read the prequel, because I've heard that's the order you're supposed to go in. So I went the first 3 and then did the prequel, and I've just started the 4th one. I thought it was okay for the first 2 books, and then the 3rd one I started to really enjoy. The prequel was fine. I was just kind of bitter about having to leave the main storyline and go back in time, but it was better than I thought it would be, and I think it is good to actually have some character history and background. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that one. I'm trying to kind of get through all of those books, which I think these last few in the series are much longer, so it might take me a minute. Try not to have too many going at the same time, or I don't think I will ever finish anything, because I don't read that many physical books because I tend to just fall asleep on them. Most of my reading is audiobooks while I dye, which I love, but it's just kind of hard to go from listening to an entire book in one day while I dye yarn to slowly, I'm like not a very fast reader, so I just slowly make my way through the physical books. But I love a physical book. Also the covers are so pretty. I've been on kind of like a self-help, I guess, book kick too. and I got these two in the mail. They're pretty, and I thought they sounded good. We'll see. I have not started either of them yet, but How to Do Nothing and Radically Content. So we'll see how these are. Yep. Who knows? Yeah, that's about it. I've read a couple other ones, but I don't feel like talking about them. That's that. I'm losing light for sure. It's getting kind of dark. It's just been overcast all day. Oh, it's only 6 o'clock though. Yeah, I guess that's it for this episode. I'm gonna try and figure out what I want to call this, and yeah, so don't make fun of whatever I pick. Naming things is so hard, and I find discussing it even more difficult. I run into this with colorway names too. Like, anything feels cheesy. Like, if you're like, should I call this Crater Lake? It just feels like, should you? That feels me. But yeah, so I think I just need to pick something, decide on it, name it, that it is that, and then there's no arguing it. The name sticks. That's what it is. So yeah, we'll figure out what I'm gonna call this. And I'm kind of imagining doing like monthly podcasts, updates. I'm not really sure how much I get done in a month, honestly. So I have no idea how much I will have to update you on in a month from now. We'll see. Maybe, hopefully I'll have another project finished. This might be good motivation to actually finish some things so that I have something to share. Yeah, I guess that's it for now. Thanks so much if you watched this whole thing. Yeah. Take care. Bye.